Hey folks, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Behind the Yellow Door. So right now I'm on a field trip and I'm wearing my red cotton hat and my sweatshirt because it is a little chilly out here. And even though I'm in Arizona, it does get cold this time of the year. Although we do get sun, during the day. I think today's high was, I would say, closer to 70, which is really nice. I think that if you ever wanted to be a bus driver, Arizona is probably one of the better places, only because the climate is good for it. It's safe, much safer than driving in a lot of these other climates, I feel. You look at these other places like Oregon and Minnesota and stuff where it's always cold and raining and snowy. It takes a lot more care to drive a bus. Anyway, so as the title in this video says, did you always think that you would become a bus driver? Well, I can undoubtedly say for myself, no. Never did I think that I would become a bus driver. I'll be very honest with you. If I'm going to be very transparent, I always thought that my dream to do something else would take that course. And I know it's really early to talk about this in these videos, and some days I'll get a little deeper into it, but since I was 12 years old, I've always wanted to become a writer, and I've always wanted to write novels and screenplays and things of that nature. I got really into the movies, and that kind of inspired me to want to do that, so I started doing a lot of writing. I wasn't good at it, and honestly, when you're a writer, you never think you're good enough, but I really thought I would go in that direction. After my mother passed away, I decided to write my memoirs, which I had published at a later date. And then I got into script writing, and with my script writing, I placed in a couple contests, some pretty high profile contests, but it never really got me to the next level. I never really got very far with it. It was just, it's a very competitive field to get into, and it seems like everybody and their grandma wants to be a scriptwriter. And that industry is really difficult to collaborate in if you don't really know anybody. As a school bus driver, I always thought that I would be, well, I never thought I'd be doing this. Between 2004 and 2004. In 2004, I started my own cleaning company, but I still wrote on the side. And cleaning, I ran it was more like a contracting company, so we did a lot of different things, but one of the things we did most of was pressure washing, and we did a lot of hot and cold cleaning for municipality locations, residential, you name it, we did it. And when I say we, I had a couple guys that worked for me at any given time. I wasn't a big company, but we were a good company. Like we were rated pretty high on Angie's List, and I did really well for about 15 years doing that. But I was always unhappy. I shouldn't say I was completely unhappy. I was happy that I owned my own company. I was happy that I had my own hours. But I wasn't happy at the idea that I was doing that for a living. It paid well. It paid really well. I had minimum charges. I ran it very efficiently. And where I lived at the time in Oregon, there was always something to clean, because there's algae and moss everywhere. So there wasn't any time where there wasn't something to clean. There was always work. I would find myself I felt like knee high ankle high in dirt, just trying to clean stuff. And let me tell you something, pressure washing is no easy task. I attributed a lot of pain over time, pressure washing. So in 2019, I sold the company, and I sold it for quite a bit. I sold not just the company, but I sold my clients list with that. And the guy that bought the company, did really well, did better than I did his first year. And so that's pretty much it, you know. And then I came out to Arizona. Oh my God, coming out to Arizona, that's another story, and I'll get into that in another video. But I never thought that being a bus driver was something that I would be doing. There are some really good things about being a bus driver, but when you think about what you have to do to become one and stay one equal to the pay, it just, and a lot of times it's really not worth it. And as many of you school bus drivers know, your CDL goes with you everywhere you go. So in other words, you know, as you know, you have to drive as careful and as good as you would a bus in your own vehicle, your own personal vehicle. So yeah, there's a lot of responsibility in being a school bus driver, and the districts just don't pay enough. They don't pay enough to survive. You don't get enough hours. If you work for high school, you can get more hours. But you know, it's funny. There's as many of you know, there's always this talk about being there's this huge shortage of bus drivers, and there is, but yet they're not willing to give you the pay necessary to keep you coming and keep you staying. Most interviews that I've been in to drive a school bus, which has only been like 3. No, actually, no, more than that, because I wanted to feel out other districts. Most interviews I've been to, it's funny, they will promise you a lot. Like, they'll promise you, oh, you want to work 60 hours a week? We'll get you 60 hours a week. The turnaround on getting your bus fixed, pretty quick. They'll tell you everything they want you to hear to get you on board. You know, my last company I worked for, Company A, which I talked about in one of my other videos, the director was nice. I mean, I liked her. I didn't like some of her ways as far as how she approached people and made them feel, but there was some good qualities about her too. And you know, when I got on board, they were giving me some overtime and stuff, but I mean, honestly, we shouldn't have to work overtime to make ends meet, right? And that's what really sucks about working in this industry, or many industries, is that many people today are working so many hours just to make the rent, just to make the mortgage. You know, over the years, we have established ourselves in a position where we're not as bad off as a lot of people are, but it's still a struggle, man. It's still a huge struggle for me and my wife, and you know, she works for a hospital, and I work here as a school bus driver. But I'm also trying to, you know, dabble in some other side hustles too right now. A lot of it being more digital. I'm selling my work online now, and you know, my writing, that is. And there are other things that I'm trying to do right now. And I always encourage drivers that if driving is what you want to do, and that's all you want to do, then it's really a good job. You just have to find the right company, like the right district to work for. And a lot of that comes down to how easy it is to get along with management, whether or not they keep the promises that they tell you they're going to keep. But for me, you know, coming into the district was mostly about, am I going to like it? The money I wanted, yeah, I wanted to make good money, or I wanted to make the money, but I also wanted to be in a non-toxic environment. And I know you can't always find that in the workplace, but you can come pretty damn close depending on where you go. I think that where I'm at now it's a very nice, the people are great. And so far, you know, I like management. They leave me alone, which is all I ask for. They let me do my job, and I have some freedoms that I didn't have at District A. And I think that's the thing that's going to keep me here, are those freedoms, not this looking over my shoulder, which I talk about in one of the videos with District A. Nobody wants to feel like they're being micromanaged in any small way, and even though they claim they don't, they did. Anyway, so I never thought I would be a bus driver. I always thought that I would be doing what I really love, and that's writing. There are some other things that I'm doing now, some AI things that I'm doing now. I'm very versatile with the computer, just so you guys know, and I always encourage other drivers, try and do something else if you're looking for a side hustle as a driver. I wouldn't recommend more driving like Uber or Lyft. I don't think that those, well, first of all, it's risky. You take your car out, everything's on you. And I've done a little bit of Lyft and I hated it. It's not to say that I wouldn't try it again, but unless they were putting out some really good offers, like $100 bonus for 5 rides, then I would probably do it for that day or that week. Otherwise, I don't think I would do it. Plus you run down your car and people don't respect your vehicle, and a lot of times, and you go out there more and you're driving, you're risking getting into more accidents. And in Arizona, they don't give a shit about you. They don't. The drivers out here are terrible. They really are terrible. I said this in a video before. I wish that everybody that had to get their license had to learn the process of what it was like to get a CDL first before they actually were able to drive. Then they will understand the importance of defensive driving. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, and you got a lot of children out there driving these 2-ton vehicles who think they know how to drive a car, but they don't. Anyway, I digress. So my question to you guys, did you always want to be a school bus driver? Did you always want to do this did you ever think you would be doing this? And now that you are doing it, do you actually enjoy it? I see a lot of, I'm a part of some school bus driving forums on Facebook, and I see a lot of people talk about how much they enjoy driving and how much they enjoy the kids. I would honestly be lying if I said I enjoy the kids. I don't hate the kids, but I don't enjoy the kids, especially if they're elementary, because they really put you to the test. But I do enjoy driving. I do enjoy the relax feeling behind driving that you get. I mean, it beats digging ditches, right? And I think if you drive for high school, it's going to be a lot more easier than it would if you drove for elementary. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for now. I would love for you to get involved in this. If you're not a subscriber, or you'd like to see some more of this content, I would ask that you please go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and share. Let me know your thoughts. Did you always want to be a driver? What are your dreams? Did you ever have dreams and they never came true, or did they come true in a small way? I'd like to know what all you guys did before you became a driver. That really means a lot to me. Anyway, guys, you have a good rest of your night, and thanks for watching. I'm out.